Pain. Right now, I'm getting to share something with you that I've shared with very few people, and it's probably going to bring up some emotions of guilt and shame. But I actually feel like it's the right thing to share. Many of you know that what inspired me to create wealth and to become retired was because of my pain. The pain of not feeling that I was good enough, that I had let my wife down, that I was not a good provider, and that I just wasn't a good enough man. And while some people will embrace their pain and will let it define them and to go into a space of sadness and depression where they become completely neutered in their ability to produce, impotent. Others will take their pain and it will motivate and it will drive them to race so far away from it. Frankly, I'm not sure why I went left or right. All I know is that I ran as far away from my pain as I could. And the belief was that if I could be financially free, my life would be better and I could finally say I was good enough. Now I want to ask you, is your value determined by your net worth? I thought it was. And so what I started doing is I made a commitment to what I call the selfish life. The selfish life was that all of my real estate was me racing and gathering and building a net worth of money for who? Me, so I could finally be good enough, and for my wife so that I could be the provider, that I could finally be good enough. And it didn't hit me till one day on that beach in Jamaica when we were celebrating retirement. My wife asked me, what do you want to do with your life? That all of a sudden it reopened the wound of pain, and I realized I was thinking that if I made money, that it would heal me. But frankly, all I got involved in was a game of selfishness. Because if you make less than 6 figures, then for the most part, for many people, the way you spend your time, the focus you put on your business or your career is all about producing income for who? And you can get lost in that world. I got lost in that world. And I got lost to the point where I did something that when I look back, I feel shame. I remember when I bought my very first house, there was a part of me that was proud of myself because this tiny little bungalow had a basement apartment that more or less covered our mortgage, so these poor college kids were living for free. When I bought the house, it was during a time of the year when it was still warm out, and I needed the local gas company to come out and get my gas turned on. And while they were out there, I said, hey, winter will soon be here, and I would love to know how to actually use the furnace. So we go downstairs into the basement, and this 1950 whatever house had a furnace that kind of filled the entire room. So it probably had like a 20% efficiency, okay? The thing was old. And so he showed me theoretically, the nice working man, how to actually light the furnace. Well, being my very first house, and never having dealt with old furnaces, I forgot. Months passed, winter came on, wake up one morning in my bed, and I'm shivering. And my wife says, I think it's time to get the furnace turned on. Well, I went downstairs, and this thing, it had this big hole where you're supposed to have the pilot light lit. And so I put used the wrench to get the gas flowing, and I'm hearing it, and I'm fumbling with the matches, and I'm not quite getting it right. Meanwhile, I'm like, wait, I'll be right back. I got to go get a different lighter. Come back in. Okay, I know I can get this thing. I'm trying to light it. It's not lighting. Maybe I got to get really close. Maybe I should put my hand and put my head in there just to make sure, because, you know, Boy Scout learns you got to protect that flame so that the wind doesn't. It's drafty in there. So I get down really low in there, and I got it to light. And I can't feel this top part of my finger. And I remember when I burned all the eyebrows off of the side of my face, and I was in not the ICU. It wasn't that bad. The ER, thank you. I was in the emergency room, and I can't feel my eyebrows are cinched. And if you've ever burned yourself, and by the way, me and fire, I was like one of those dumb Boy Scouts. They wanted to keep taking away my merit badges. Like seriously, as an adult, we did firecrackers, 4th of July, and one of them is spinning in the street close to the family. I'm wearing my sandals, and I go to kick it in the street, and it lodges between my sandal and the foot. Anyway, well, you're starting to see a pattern, right? Well, I'll tell you what, I went to the ER, and I wasn't important enough with the pain I was feeling with the long line of people that were in there. I learned that the Holy Ghost goes to bed after midnight. There was a long line of people. Dumb stuff happens late in the evening, and I was one of those. Anyway, I'll tell you something, that when that experience was over, because I was in this selfish life, this unmentored life, I felt angry the next morning. And I had to direct my anger at somebody or something. Who could I point my anger at? Whose fault was this? Whose fault? The gas company. They showed me how to do it, I lit it, and it blew my face up. So you know what I did? I found a lawyer. I sued the gas company. I won, and I got a brand new furnace. And when I was done, I felt proud. I was so proud of myself. I had worked the system. Years later, lots of mentorship later, and by the way, mentorship came into my life because one of my dearest friends turned on me and wanted to just, it felt like emotionally rend my life in half and left. And the pain was so deep that for 6 months, there was nothing I could do but bore my wife with talking about it and bringing up my pain and my victimhood over and over again until I met a mentor that could address the real issues that were where? In me. Started going through a whole healing process, a mindset healing process, mentorship upon mentorship. And eventually, I am sitting down with one of my mentors that I'm still trying to get in the network. And this woman and I, we had spent, I don't know how many hundreds of hours on the phone every week. And basically, she would ask, what came up for you this week? What's wrong? And I would think of any negative emotion I had where I got angry, sad, depressed, or pissed off. And I brought something up. And oddly enough, one of these times, it took me right back to this decision that I had made with the furnace. And when I was done processing it, what I found out was that I had ripped off the furnace company. And I had taken advantage of them. And I wanted to call me the victim, and I wanted to blame them. I have a pattern, or at least I used to have a major pattern of finding blame and living in victimhood. And in victimhood, there is no power. My life changed through the power of mentorship. And when this company, before it was conceived, before there was real estate, even though I was retired with it, the gift that I wanted to give the world was I wish that they could write the checks that I had written for the mentorship that changed my life. You want to know what the men and women up to this point who have been on stage hold in common with each other? Have you been impressed by some of our speakers? Yeah. Most of them are mentors in the network, and they've been paying a price of money and time and effort, and they have dedicated their life to hone the art of the gift that they have. And my quest has been, how do we take this gift and make it available in a massive way? So guess what I did several years ago? I wrote a book called The Conscious Creator. Has anyone read that book? Yeah, thank you. And I wrote the book, and what I set out to do was say, you know what, this is our third pillar. We're going to hold breakthrough events. And you know what? How many of you have been to one of our 3-day transformation breakthrough events? So a few of you, and they are powerful because they reveal who you are. They teach principles on how to manifest the life that you want. That is my great passion. But you know what? I've been holding these events for 3.5 years. I usually have 30 to 90 people in the room. And I ask myself, if these are so powerful, why isn't it 900 or 9,000 or 90,000? Like, how do we get this big? And the revelation of the mentoring network and the panel with featuring some of our mentors that we're about to have right now, you know what the secret to success is in this personal development community? You know what it was for me? It was to get off the stage and to move into the shadow. And it was to create a place and a space and a platform where our mentors could come and thrive and where we could share their message. Friends, what I would like to do right now is I would like to share just a small handful of some of the mentors. They are coming, they are heeding the call, they are joining every day, and this community and platform, by the end of the year, I predict it will be well in excess of over $1 million of value that someone could potentially access for what price? Potentially what price? Free. Thank you. Can you imagine an assembly of the most powerful education? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm doing this for my kids. My kids go to public school. 32 other kids going the pace of the weakest link, teaching them something standard so that after all that 12 years of investment, they got basics in math, a few basics in science and English, and like that's what we're going to equip them with for the world? Friends, are you kidding me? At age 35, do you realize that now the average American has already had 14 to 18 jobs? By the time you graduate college, you're already obsolete. We're training people for jobs that don't even exist and that are going extinct. Our world is changing fast with technology. And you know what? This mentoring network, for me, it is the education not just for my 4 children. It is an education platform for the world. It is to transform and give access for these mentors that have dedicated their life to their art and to their gift that you otherwise have to pay all this money to access. Who would you be if every day you could wake up to hundreds of mentors and allow intuition to guide you to the one that could be there to change your life? Are you capturing the vision of what this will do around the world? Friends, I've only been told and have it on good authority from my friend Ann Webb. By the way, Ann Webb, one of our mentors who just got back from Africa, heading to Africa again. And you know what Ann says? She says, Kris, the amount of effort that it takes to put 50 butts in seats in America, you can put 500 to 1,000 people in Africa. Why? Because they are hungry, they are ready to change, they are ready to shift, and so are so many people around the world. The mentoring goes beyond an American dream. America is the America that it is because of the education we have, and that education is substandard. So the education we're going to bring to the world is to address world peace. It is to address world hunger. It is to address the world's education. And we want to take this concept of an American dream, and will you help me make it a global dream? Allow me to introduce to you just a few of the men and women. I'm going to be bringing 5 of them up. These are individuals that play big. They are powerful. They are life changers. They are game changers, and they are a part of the mentoring network. I have to tell you, I'm even a little nervous because I'm just humbled to be in the presence of people that are on a mission and on a quest to do such great things. But we want to gather thousands of them so that we can change and give the possibility of change for everyone in the world. So with that, will you please help me welcome to the stage our first mentor and fitness trainer, expert breakthrough artist, Marci Lock. Help her up, come on, Marci. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Whoa, whoa. Give it up for this girl, she's on fire.
How are you? Good to see you.
Listen, come join me over here. Come grab this first seat in this microphone. And Marci, first thing I would like to do is I have an award for you. You may not even know it, but even the little bit of time and attention you have put into the mentoring network, you are actually one of our rising stars. You've already started building not only an influential team of great connectors, but you've got some numbers to back this up. You and your partner Tyson are rocking this out. So please help me award
Tyson.
Marci and Tyson the Rising Star Award for 2015 Top Recruiters of the Year.
Awesome.
There you go. So excited for you.
Thank you.
You'll get to see Tyson tomorrow morning because, by the way, I've got some questions here for the beautiful Marci Lock. But Marci also is going to be doing a special session to kick off conference. I believe in something called a power hour. And that means that I start my day right. And so Marci's going to help all of us start our day right with a powerful power hour starting tomorrow at 7:20, leading up to the 9 o'clock hour. And by the way, how many of you would love to have a free session of someone that charges $250,000 for mentorship? Would you like to have that? So, Marci, tell us a little bit why the Mentoring Network. Tell us a little bit about even first who you are and what's happening in your life.
Wow. Okay, well, that's a loaded question, right? Because we could go anywhere. First off, I met Kris years ago. Actually, Gerald and I are good friends, and we spoke together. So it's been cool to see this amazing journey. And so Kris got a hold of me a couple months ago, right, and told me what he was up to. What was awesome is, in the last little bit, a couple months ago, I had literally this inspiration, God coming through me to say, now you get to assist the masses. And so I've had, personal clients at a high end. I have masterminds. I have badass breakthrough adventures. I have a goddess revolution experience. I do my own TV and radio and all these fun things. But it was like, it's time to assist the masses. And it was like next day. I'm just like, that's how powerful I am. And talking to Kris, one of my intentions years ago had been, I always saw myself creating a bigger game for third world countries and around the world. And so when he expressed it to me, I just barely implemented houses being built in Mexico and schools being built in Mexico through one of my other programs. And so when he told me that this was a way, I always thought there's gotta be more though to give these people than just, houses and schools. We know why people are in poverty. It's what's happening between your ears, right? And it's always been this drive for me is once I get my business to this $1 million enterprise that's worldwide, there's so much more to give there. And so it was so ironic and cool, and I honor you for that, the gift of that. Hands down when he said that it also assists people in third world countries of learning on the internal, going internal. Everything in your external world is because of what you have going on inside. So to see that was huge. That's why the mentorship, hands down, is like, oh, here's the way. Something else I can manifest with ease.
Awesome, I love it.
I sing.
She's going to sing tomorrow morning for all of us as well, right? So
and dance.
And dance. All
Gerald.
right.
Gerald wants a dance party. He told me we have not been dancing. I am here now. We can dance.
All right, perfect. Well, Marci, we've got some more questions for you, but we're going to bring up our second panelist.
Awesome.
So please help me welcome to the stage someone that I am so thrilled and honored to have in the Mentoring Network. This is an individual that believes in your greatness and has been speaking about it his entire life. Please help me welcome to the stage the Les Brown, foremost world's motivational speaker.
I'm in a book with Les, and we just met for the first time.
Yeah. Wonderful.
I was like, I'm in a book with you. He's like, oh, that's nice.
So, Les, your life has been dedicated about helping people see the greatness within them. Will you tell us more about that?
Well, I believe that all of us have greatness within us, and we need many times something that you're doing is having mentors to help us to see what we can't see. When I was in 5th grade, I was labeled educable mentally retarded and put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade and failed again when I was in the 8th grade, have no college training. But I had this high school teacher who taught me, he said that someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And he shared with me various methods and techniques, what it takes to begin to reframe how you see yourself and write a different kind of script than the one that you're living out, and how to begin to take that power and influence and impact others. And so I've been doing this for 46 years. I'm 70 years young, so yay. I enjoy it very much.
Wow. And, I want to share something with you. Les, when you shared that right there, I felt that message. Someone else could come on the stage and verbatim say those same words, but I guarantee you I couldn't feel it the way I just felt it from you. This is your gift, and I just, on behalf of our entire company and all the people here, want to thank you for choosing to share your gift through this medium so that we can help it reach the entire world, because they need to hear that message from you. Thank you so much.
But, Kris, I believe that we all have a spiritual tribe. There's some people, when I speak, they're going to hear me. And there's some people, when you speak, they're going to hear you. and going to hear you. Some people will hear us in their ears, and there's some whose your assignment will hear you in their heart. So part of what I do and my gifting is in teaching people how to connect with their power voice and how to speak in a way that their tribe can hear their voice, so that when you speak, that you are strategic and experiential in your speaking, so that they leave your presence feeling better about themselves, but talking about the impact that you had on them. And as a result of that, you're able to create a shift in the collective consciousness of people. My goal is to train 100,000 voices of hope and teach people things that I have learned and how to begin to speak to the masses.
Wow, so powerful. Wow.
Thank you.
And I tell you, one of the things that I'm really excited about, you guys remember that conversation about loyalty points? Yeah. How many of you would love to take those loyalty points and apply them to a boot camp with the world's foremost motivational trainer and speaker in September? How many of you would love to have that experience? Are you kidding me? What an honor. Thank you, Les. Got some more questions for you, but first we're going to bring up our next speaker. This is an individual that I actually met at an event years ago, and I sat there with envy just thinking, man, this guy is so great. Look at what he is doing. And I had a chance to meet him through Roger Salam several weeks ago, and actually attended one of his masterminds this last week. And David Fagan is the icon builder. He is in the media. He creates icons in the marketplace. It is his gift. He is the former CEO of Guerrilla Marketing. So he's part of and co-author of the 23 million books in 62 languages that have been written around the world. Please help me. Before we bring him up, we're actually going to play this video. We're going to play this video, and then we're going to bring up David.
Out in the world, following one's passion and earning a living is what this author and speaker preaches.
I'm always trying to point them in the direction where they can monetize their knowledge and experiences the most. And a lot of times that's by being a business owner or an entrepreneur, not by taking the normal course of action that everybody else is. I work with entrepreneurs, and I love to teach those same things that I teach to entrepreneurs in the office to my kids at home. I want to raise an entrepreneur, someone who's self-reliant, that knows how to sell themselves, their talents and abilities, and how to monetize their knowledge and experience.
Author of Guerrilla Parenting, David joins us now.
Go to school, and I don't even believe that really college is for everyone. I think there was a point in time that, you know, we focused more on self-reliance and college was the best way, and now we've kind of gone to this extreme, and people don't realize that colleges are just these big businesses, and we've got a lot of debt out there, and I'm not sure it's for everyone and really helping as many people as we think it is.
How many people here feel like their child's current education meets their full potential? How many people feels like they could be better? Okay, now let's relate this to all of you. I'm going to ask you a question, very important question. How many people believe that the level of our success is really measured by the level of our questions, by the way? Right? Absolutely. So here's a question for you to think about. Does your current team, okay, people around you, people helping you, people supporting you, does your current team live up to your full potential?
Friends, please help me welcome to the stage, David Fagan. All right, we're going to have to share the mics a little bit, okay? We're going to share the love. Thank you. So
I've dreamed of the day that Les Brown would pass me the mic. I have now checked something off my bucket list because Les Brown passed me the mic, and that's not easy to do. I thought I had to wrestle it from him, but he passed me the mic willingly. Did you guys see that willingly? Thank you.
You're welcome. So David, you help people build a brand, and by the way, not just mentors in the room. How many of you want to become mentors and you need help creating an iconic brand to be a leader in your industry? How many of you need some help with that? Could you use some mentorship from this guy? Let's hear it. So David, just tell us a little bit about your background. Tell us a little bit about Icon Media, how you build icons, and what you think the connection is inside the mentoring network.
Well, what I really do is I help people create an unfair advantage over the competition. And I know it's fun, we're all collaborating and we're all hugging hands and singing Kumbaya, but sometimes we have to compete. You know, people only have so much in their war chest to fight the day-to-day battle of business and life. And sometimes we have to explain to them why we are the best person to help them, or we have the best way to serve them. So nowadays, there's what's called social proof. And having a certain amount of social proof can really help you and your message break through. Having testimonials, having endorsements, writing books, speaking to audiences, being on television. These types of things help answer the question, why you? I love it when people ask me, say, David, why you? Why am I going to help you help me with my marketing than somebody else? I get excited. My whole business is designed, so you ask, why me? Well, I'm the former CEO of Guerrilla Marketing. I've been on television. I have celebrity clients. I've written all these books. I have all these testimonials. And that's what I want to help other people do. I want to help them build this vault of social proof so that they command the presence of every room that they walk into. I want to help you make your presence felt. I want to help you be unforgettable, because Strongbrook is the message and the movement that can't be forgotten, and I want to give you all the tools to take that to the next level.
Awesome, David. Well, we've got some more questions for you as well. Friends, that's amazing. Already right now, I hope you already see the benefit. There are so many people that have a mentor in life that have helped them advance to the next level. Do you see the difference and the unique power of these three individuals? Friends, that's the power of mentorship, and that's the power when you're accessing the Netflix of personal development, when you have access to all of that variety so that you can get help you need in every area of your life. David, welcome to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Okay, for the panel, the next mentor that we have is Stephanie Davis. And friends, I want to tell you something about Stephanie. Stephanie is a master at NLP. She's a master trainer. And in the network marketing industry, this woman currently has in one of her downlines over 1 million people. Master trainer, Stephanie Davis. Help me welcome her to the stage. All right, we're going to pass the mic. And now, Stephanie, that second hand, Les Brown mic.
I'm
Just,
getting that. I'm getting that. Yes, thank you.
I'm trying to get him to touch mine.
Okay, it's going to rub off. Stephanie, you are, first of all, so honored to have you associated with your mentorship with this network, because I've been so impressed by not only who you are as a human being, just someone that I want to have as a friend in my life, but when you play massive. You don't play big. You go beyond big, you go beyond gigantic. I'm not sure what word comes after that, but it's really huge. Iconic, thank you, David. I think Stephanie only knows how to think in 7 and 8 figures, and we're going to have her, I'm going to ask her a question in a little bit. I'm going to ask her this question called, show me the money, like why network marketing, maybe even why this opportunity. But before I do, Stephanie, just tell us a little bit about you and why you want to be a mentor inside the network.
Little bit about me. I've got 6 kids. I've got 20 animals. I live in a redwood forest. I keep trying to be retired, but residual income allows you that freedom. But when I meet people like Kris. I mean, Roger Salam is one of my business partners, and you all love Roger, right? I mean, well, we're always pulling each other into things, and he told me about Strongbrook, and I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention until I saw a video of Kris, and just on the video, I knew that he was a very special person. When I got to meet him in person in Tampa, Florida, just a few weeks ago, man, I had to come down off my mountain, out of my trees, and come and play because, it's already been said here that this is not an opportunity to just impact one life or, a few lives or even all the lives you've impacted so far. Folks, genuinely, truly, this is going to impact the world. People who can do it, people who can't do it. We're gonna raise the consciousness of the entire human race. I fully believe that. And, yeah. So, I mean, how could I not play? This is just, this is just amazing.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. We're just pleased to have you. I'm going to bring up our final panelist, and then we got some questions for these wonderful people, and maybe a couple questions from you in the audience. For our final panelist, many of you know that in the world of real estate, that most investors can be put into one of two buckets. There are those that they have to get on the plane. They have to go to Home Depot. They have to hire the consultants. They build their own power team, and frankly, if you didn't catch on to that, this entire Strongbrook movement, even though I believe on a very facilitated, passive way of doing real estate, well, guess what? I had to figure out how to assemble that power team in the first place. And while I love having it done for me, there are experts out there in the field that train people how to successfully do it on their own. And many of the real estate gurus we've seen that have sprung up in the last 3 decades, they have a father in their business. There is an individual that they sprung from. This individual has created so many millionaires, stimulated the economy, done hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of millions of dollars worth of sales in his business to stimulate the economy in, I'm only can guess, a multi-billion-dollar factor in his lifetime. Please help me welcome to the stage mentor Ron Legrand.
I'm honored to be in this group. I want to be like her when I grow up. We've worked together. I've been listening to him for 40 years, and I want her to help me lose weight with if I don't have to sweat or change my eating habits. All right? Okay, start tomorrow. That's a good time to start, tomorrow.
Yeah. You know, Ron, you have so much. When I sat down and got to experience you with Roger Salam, that also introduced me to you, I just witnessed amongst your entire team and yourself just so much business savvy.
3 of which are here, incidentally, sitting right back there.
And we're fortunate to have them. Mm-hmm. And when I had a chance to sit down with you, I was thinking to myself, man, it would be such an honor to do some business with someone that really gets business and is shrewd in business, understands business, not just real estate, but the art of business in and of itself. You've created a reputation for yourself and a very good one. So my question for you is, what did you see in the mentoring network where you thought, hey, this could be another excellent way to grow my empire?
Well, to be fair, the first thing I saw was a customer acquisition tool. That's from a greed perspective. And because we're always doing that on radio every day and just started television and various other things, which as a marketer, that's what we do. In fact, that's what all of you do every day of your lives. But then, you know, the deeper I looked, one of the biggest problems we have in training people how to buy and sell real estate without using their money or credit is not teaching them the real estate business. They can learn that pretty quickly, but it's that baggage they come with, that fear that they come. It's getting them, we get them to the 98-yard line, getting them past that goal line because they're just afraid to communicate with people, afraid to call people, and they need that personal development component. So I saw that in your vault. I want to expose them to as much of that as I possibly can to help them get past that one little last hurdle so that they can actually start making some real money in their life. Plus I see within that, I see an opportunity for ordinary people to start making money by doing the things that they want to do, and that's sharing with other people. And I got to tell you, I just met Mike Driggers, who's my upline, which I didn't know existed till an hour ago. And no, honestly, Roger brought me in here. I didn't know Mike existed. And of course, after I'm meeting him, he's smarter than all these other guys put together. So we've already changed my plans tonight, and we're going to have dinner with Mike, and I'm going to have, I can't see a thing, but I'd like to know where are my folks that I brought here, if wherever you're at, whoever you are, including the Loves up here. Yeah. We're having dinner tonight at 6:30 in the restaurant. We've already got it planned, and I want you guys to meet Mike because he's going to help us grow the business, and I'm buying, and that's the last time you're ever going to hear that from me, so you better show up. Huh? Yeah, that's just for my folks now, not the whole darn room. All right. Okay, they know who they are, including the Loves up here, which I introduced to this thing. You got on the call, and they got on right then, and they got in right then, and they're kicking butt and pissing off everybody else that's in because but they're doing a great job. So I got in it for all of those things, but obviously we all want to make some money in it. By the way, I heard you talking, it ain't about the money. Don't believe that crap. It is about the money. Look, I've been rich and I've been broke. Broke sucks. Rich is a whole lot better. So is it okay we make a bunch of money while we do this? Yes? Good. I just wanted clarity on that subject.
Ron, we thank you for bringing clarity to that. Thank you.
Speaking of that, Mike and I have already got plans that we're going to develop a very simple system that all of you can use where people, ordinary people, can plug right into it so that they don't have to go pester their friends and their neighbors, because I'm telling you that's the thing they're most afraid of, and that's the hardest problem you're going to have. So we want to sit some, they can just turn people onto it, and it'll guide them to the training materials that you guys provide to convert them, to get them sign up without everybody having to become salesmen in the room. Mike and I are going to get that done for you. Right, Mike? Wherever you're at. So our whole goal is to bring this down to a third grade level so even you guys can understand it. Huh?
Thank you, Ron. I appreciate
Aren't you glad
that.
you have me up here now? Huh?
I'm second thinking it a little bit. Listen, there's so much good that comes collectively from sharing a stage with such powerful people like this. So I've had a chance to poll the audience and come up with some questions for each one of you individually. So I'd like to just create a moment of mentorship. And so the first question is directed towards David. And it is about how does a person that has an idea that wants to go to the marketplace, what's the first step they can take to actually discover a brand that they can build around their idea?
Well, I'm not very big on long-term goals. I think that in a lot of cases they're a waste of time. And what I mean by that is I'm all about the power play. What can you do in 3 to 6 weeks to get results or make you money? You manage the moments take care of your life. So the very first thing you want to do is you want to get proof of concept. And a lot of people, they have some idea, or they have some book, or they have some info product, or whatever, and it takes them 6 months to a year to get it out, only to find out that it wasn't the right thing. So one of the fastest things you want to do is design a book cover. You know, design something graphically that represents the idea, that represents the brand, that represents the title, the subtitle, the tagline, whatever it is, and get that out to a network as fast as you can, and just invite people to really bash it. Now, there's a real art to doing a focus group. If you don't ask the right questions the right way, then you're going to get bad information, because everybody wants to justify their existence in the universe, and they feel like they can't do that unless they tell you something bad about your idea. Okay, so you got to do it in a certain way. But the faster you can get that idea to the marketplace, the faster you can get proof of concept, the faster you can get someone to spend money with you, or to sign up with you, or to come meet you somewhere. You want to inspire action in every audience. And if you can measure that action and see that quickly, then I know you're onto something, and then a lot of other people will help you because you have that proof of concept.
Wow. Okay, this question is for Les. So many of the people here in our audience, for them to take their business, Les, to the next level, they need to learn to speak. In the beginning, it's invite them to the expert. It's take them to somebody else's meeting. It's have them watch somebody else's video, and you can go quite far in the business. But at some point, you make the transition to inspiring your team and working with your team and motivating your team. For those in the audience that are nervous about taking their own stage and sharing their message, what advice would you give them when they're facing the big fear of the stage?
Well, first of all, whenever I speak, I go out in the audience and talk to people, introduce myself to them, and I get stories from them, because that's how I handle my nervousness. I'm nervous whenever I speak. And one of the things that if people who want to become effective is, one, never let what you want to say get in the way of what the person needs to hear.
Wow.
So you want to spend a lot of time listening to them and asking key questions, as you said. The other thing is that when you speak to someone one-on-one, small groups or large groups, there's 3 questions going on in their mind. Who are you? What do you have? And why should I care? And so what you want to do quickly and strategically and experientially, and why I said strategically, because everybody has a story. And so your goal in you're telling a story, knowing how to tell your story quickly, succinctly, that you distract, dispute, and inspire. You distract them from the story they believe about themselves. Through the execution of your story, you dismantle their limited belief system and give them a vision of themselves beyond their circumstances and mental conditioning, and inspire them, as Mother Teresa would say, to become a pencil in the hand of God and start writing a new chapter with their lives. And so the key is, one, you do this, you speak often, because the more you speak, that nervousness means I'm concerned. I care about what I'm going to say. I'm here to influence and impact people. I train people how to become three-dimensional speakers, impact the mind, touch the heart, and ignite the spirit. And so the more you do it, you'll be able to manage the fear. But the other thing is learning how to tell your story so that when people hear you, that they leave your presence feeling good about themselves, but you've used your story to create a shift in their thinking, and they want to have a relationship with you. So looking forward to having a relationship with people, but creating that trust, creating that openness and that common ground by listening to them and find out what is it that you can do to be of service to them.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Woo. Now they're dropping some jewels. Are you picking them up? Is anyone picking up the jewels? All right. So for Marci, so much of addressing the body. I had one of my mentors say to me, Kris, we got to take off your fat suit. He was very direct. I didn't like it when he said it to me the first time. But you know what? What you do is obviously you inspire people in their body in the fitness arena, but how much of that really is body work with diet, and how much of that is actually breakthrough work?
Perfect question. As I've done TV, the thing that I always, one of my taglines I always say is like, we've heard a lot, 80% is nutrition, right? 20% is exercise, so that'd be 100%. But really, it's 100% mental. So the gift I believe God gave me is that people see me as a fitness nutrition expert, because that was part of my journey, my story. When I started at 4 years old, I took on beliefs that if I didn't look a certain way, I wasn't going to be accepted and good enough, because I saw my mom struggle with her weight. So I took on belief systems that I had to be something other than me to be loved. So starting with this fight against the body is why I learned about the body. I learned that it's an effortless machine for us. Like, it's easy to live in a lean, ripped 8-pack abs effortlessly for the rest of your life when you're in tune internally that you're worthy of it. So until that happens, my experience was that I fought my body. I struggled, I sacrificed, I had breast cancer, I had, all sorts of things, heart attack at 19. I fought the body because of my belief systems about the body. And no matter how many diets I tried, no matter how many things I did, I always sabotaged. Because my belief system inside said, I'm not good enough in who I am, I'm not worth it. Once I have the body, I'll be good enough. So I was always striving for something outside of me to validate myself, which to the universe, the vibration that I'm putting out, Einstein says, no problem can ever be solved from the same state in which it was created. If I am vibrating an energy of I am worthless, I'm not good enough, I need that outside of me, and I should do this, and I have to do this, and all this outside of me will make me whole, I'm literally saying I'm not whole right now. So my ego mind will always sabotage it because it doesn't want to be forced. So it's all internal. It is not external at all. The body is the easy part. The body is just a reflection showing up of how much you value yourself and your own self-love. The amount of money that you're making is a reflection of how much you love yourself and the amount of value you're creating in the world. So one of my favorite quotes, I was actually just on a TV interview before this. I got, you guys know ABC4 here locally. I moved here from Utah about 8 months ago, and I used to do TV every week with ABC4, and they had me on all the time to teach different mindset things, even though people are like, oh yeah, let's listen to the fitness nutrition expert. I'm like, yeah, come here. So this is what I love that God gave me is on the surface level, we're all like, oh, how can I be more loved and accepted? We all just want to be loved. So on the surface level, out of wanting to be loved and accepted, we think, oh, the body, then I'll go to the parties, then I'll associate with my friends and family, then I'll feel confident, then my relationship will be whole. We look outside of ourselves and we strive for the body. So it's kind of a gift, I believe, from God that, he allows people come to me for this very surface reason. And it's like you give them what they want. They come to me for what they want, but I give them what they need. What they need is the internal breakthrough to loving themselves as they are, knowing you're already perfect, whole, and complete. You're already a divine son or daughter of God. And in my interview, this guy interviewed me to find out, how do you break through fear to create success? And I said, what's interesting is, you know, we all deserve it, right? I mean, we're all sons and daughters of God. That's what it comes down to. We all are already perfect, whole, and full of love. We all deserve it. But the difference is, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you're committed to. So if your body is showing up fat, sluggish, tired, unenergized, can't play with your kids, you're not even an open tool for God to use you. Because you're clogged, you're foggy, you can't think straight. That's what you're committed to. If you're barely surviving financially, that's what you're committed to. If you're spiritually disconnected, you're not an open tool to serve and give, that's what you're committed to. So you don't get what you deserve, you get what you're committed to. So that's really what it comes down to is, are you committed to awesomeness? By loving yourself, and once you go internal, all things internal, every time we judge someone, every time we feel defense, every emotion, we've just learned to shut it down. As little kids, I was telling him this on the TV interview, little kids, what do? They run up to you and they're crying, and we go, it's okay, shh, what's wrong? So we've been trained that emotions are wrong, that feelings are wrong, shut it down. Instead of lean into the feeling, lean into the thoughts, lean into the fears. We break them down and they're done. And they were never true. And what's true is you're a divine son or daughter of God, a limitless, infinite possibility creator. You can have anything you want. That's what's true.
I love it. I love it. We got some more Breakthrough with Marci Lock coming in the morning. And I'm excited for it. So now what I want to do is, I got a question here, Stephanie, for you. And we actually have some slides booted up, and I think we have a clicker somewhere in the house, because I think you're going to need it. It'll probably magically appear from behind the curtain. It's amazing. It's amazing. So Stephanie, I want to ask you a question, and then I tell you, I'm really excited to hear what the answer is. Here's the question. In multi-level marketing, I can get excited about the product. I can get excited about all this mentorship. To Ron, show me the money. Can you answer that for us? Show me the money. How does this work? How do you paint the vision, the picture? How do people know how to stick with it when it gets hard? Why is it worth it? Why does Todd Falcone get up here and say, hey, I failed after my first 2 years, and then I kept working at it? Show us the money and help us understand why it's worth it to stay committed.
Okay. Well, and the reason I have slides, it's not like he didn't, I mean, he just literally gave me this question like half an hour ago, and I did these slides in half an hour. So they might not be perfect, but I wanted to be able to show you, literally show you the money, and particularly a question that we all need to understand in bringing in the mentors, and for the mentors to want to come in. What's in it for the mentors? You know, so I'll kind of tackle both at the same time. But definitely, we all want to show me the money, right? Okay. All right. So what I really need for people to understand, and especially the mentors, because they may have been in an arena where they've never been in network marketing. In fact, most mentors avoid network marketing because they have a product which is themselves. They don't want to go into a network marketing and promote laundry powder. You know, they want to promote themselves and get more and more and more raving fans to you know, take on what their gift is, right? So they don't really understand the concept of ongoing residual income. So I have to show this to you so you understand how powerful this can be. Getting paid on what happens long after you did the work, okay? And I've been a speaker, trainer, consultant for over 30 years. And just very quickly, I'll just tell you that what happened to me personally is that I would focus on my consulting and training and speaking business. And because some of my clients were network marketing companies, I had built a small little downline in a company, okay? And one of our 6 children had a terrible accident. They were going to amputate his legs. Don't worry, he's fine now. But for a year, I had to be nothing but a bedside nurse, and my entire career came to a halt. And as a speaker, trainer, mentor, whatever, you're only as good as your last book, your last boot camp, your last, you know, speaking engagement. And when you stop, basically the income stops. And so what my husband did, who's a CPA, he came to me and he said, honey, I don't want to upset you, but I just want to show you something. And he showed me my training company was going in the hole because we still had expenses and I wasn't speaking, right? Then he showed me this little network marketing income and he says, oh my gosh, he says, this thing's been growing while you've been sitting in the hospital. And he says, so correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you talk over here and get paid, and then over here you talk and get paid? He said, when our son is better, why don't you talk more over here? You know, and he's a CPA. You know, he said same thing with me. You know, we both love what we do. We both get paid very well. But what if we stop? Either because we want to or because we have to. And that's where really understanding the power of residual income is important. And so I want to just point out, oh, here we go, that if you're a mentor or somebody, or even a salesman, for you who are not mentors, if you go out and get a sales job, you're getting one golden egg at a time, right? I mean, you have to go out and make the sale, get the money. Yeah, if you write a book or something, you can get some residual, but in today's day and age, it doesn't last long. So one customer at a time, or would you rather have a goose that's gonna lay golden eggs? I mean, we're talking 24 hours a day from around the world while you sleep. This goose is gonna keep on laying. Which one sounds better?
Goose.
The second one, right? You know, so this is a way for mentors to be able to tell their fans to go forth and multiply. I mean, right now, the fans are just whoever they have farmed and they've been able to get in there, right? But what if the fans multiplied? What if you had a business and every single one of your customers went out and brought in one more tomorrow? You'd have a huge explosion compared to what advertising would do, right? And so everybody has to get into this mode of understanding where the money's coming from. But even more important for the mentors is that they can be compensated when their fans go forth and multiply. And so this is a totally different way of getting things monetized. I'm gonna skip that slide. And I'm just gonna show everybody, and this is for everybody, not just the mentors, you probably really don't understand the power of multiplication. And I'm gonna prove this to you. If you are, you've probably heard this before, would you rather me give you $100,000 today or 1 penny that I will multiply every day for a month? Okay, well, you guys are smart. You guys are already in this, right? You know the penny. Most people say 100,000. By day 10, you only have $10 and something. I don't know what happened to the slides here. By day 20, you would have made, wait a minute, I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening with the slides here. There's a delay. By day 10, you've got over 10,000. It's still not 100, right? But by day 29, just the one day alone would be over $2,600,000. You would receive over $20 million if the month had 31 days in it. So 100,000 versus 20 million. Why did we not know that a few minutes ago? Because we don't understand the power of multiplying, doubling, growing exponentially, and what that can bring for us. So let me put this into some Strongbrook terms. One of the things that's really amazing is how many people can come from everybody just doing a little. If you brought in 2, who brought in 2, who brought in 2, who brought in 2, my slide's not big enough, pretty soon there would be thousands and thousands. Or like Kris said, millions. You can have millions of people in your downline. And in Strongbrook, one of the things that's really amazing is when there's 75 homes that come out of the group that started with you, you get an extra $35,000. How many of you, you know, and did you go sell 75 homes? No, they occurred in the group that you had built. And so I just wanted to show you this slide here. I don't know if you could even see the numbers, but it's showing you exponentially. If everybody brought in 2, if everybody brought in 3, if everybody brought in 4, if everybody brought in 5, if everybody brought in 6, if everybody brought in 7, etc. And I can't see the numbers, but for those of you, not just mentors, what I really want you to notice about this is what you do in the beginning is going to make all the difference to what you're experiencing a few years from now. When people ask me, what did you earn in your first year with network marketing? That's a stupid question, because every penny that I've earned came from the first year. What I did in the first year is now paying me more and more and more and more and more and more every month while I sit up on the mountain with my kids and my animals. So it's not a trading time for money kind of a deal. It's a build. And if you're only building by the 2s, your numbers are not going to get very big. If you build by 4, if you build by 5, if you build by 6, if you got in 6 people in your first month, exponentially the difference in your income for 6 months from now is going to be major compared to if you only brought in 2 or if you only brought in 1. You know, the bigger you are in the beginning of this, the more crazy the exponential numbers become by the 7th level. Does everybody understand that? So, you know, if you say, oh, I'll get 3 people, get 4. I'll get 4 people. Get 5. I'll get 10 people. Get 20. I mean, well, yeah, 100. Don't play small. I think everybody's been saying that. Play big. But here's what I want to show everybody. And then I've got one for the mentors next, okay? This is very quick. But if you're talking about the $4.99, let's just do it by 4. Now, why am I using 4? Because there's a magic number in the compensation plan. If you bring in 4 people who do the $4.99, you get $125, right? Just for what you personally did. 4 times 125 is 500. So if you put in 500, you get 4 other people to do the same, you're going to get your 500 back, right? And if you do it in 90 days, you're going to get an extra 500. So you'll get $1,000 just for that, not counting what will happen in the compensation plan, right? So what would happen if everybody went out and got 4? On your second level, you would have 16 people. On your third level, you'd have 64. On your fourth level, you'd have 256. Then there'd be 1,024, 4,000, then 16,000. And how much do you earn from what's happening at those levels on the $4.99 pack? On the first level, the ones you do, $125. Second level, $50. Then $50 on the third, $25 on the fourth, $750, $750, $750 on levels 5, 6, 7, right? So if you brought in 4 and taught them to do the same, then when you have 16 people at $50, that's $800 from the second level, $3,200 from the third level, $6,400 from the fourth level, $7,680 from the fifth, $30,000 something from the sixth, and $122,000 something from the seventh. Okay? So what you have to get is that your own personal onesie twosie kind of action is nothing compared to even pennies that would be coming from way down the line. Does that make sense? And you don't actually stop at level 7. You can actually get paid to infinity, but the percentages vary according to a lot of different things. So the exact percentage is unknown, but it's amazing. So now, when you talk to a mentor, okay, looking at this $4.99 package, a mentor is going to bring in about 100 people. Now, I accidentally started with 99, so we're going to go with 99. But I'm not going to assume that the mentor brings in 99 people and then each of the 99 gets 99. I'm going to assume the mentor brings in 99 and then each of those people gets 4. Why are they going to get 4? Because that's how they're going to get their 1,000, and that's usually what people will do. So if a mentor brought in 99 people on the first level, they'd get 12,375. If those 99 people brought in 4 each, then there would be $19,800 on the second level. If those second level people each brought in 4, the third level would be $79,000. If they each brought in 4, the next level is $158,000. Then it goes to $190,000, then $760,000, and over $3 million on level 7 if everybody who came in bought the $4.99 pack, which they have to do if they want to do the business, right? So they're going to do the $4.99 pack, and they're going to multiply by 4. This is the kind of money we'd be talking. Now, disclaimer, this is not an income claim. This is not an income promise. This is just showing you what numbers would be there on those levels if those numbers of people doing that sale was on that level, right? And that's the $4.99. What about the $99 a month? Again, just assuming that we had 100 people on the first level, or 99, and then they each got 4. So just per month from the first level, you'd be getting $2,772. On that next level, where you've got the 396 people, per month, $1,584. Third level, per month, $12,672. Fourth level, $50,000 something. Fifth level, $190,000 something. Sixth level, $101,000. Seventh level, $162,000. And that infinite thing is unknown. But this is not small potatoes. And the most important thing is it's happening while you sleep, or while you're sitting at the hospital, caring for your child, or, up on a mountain, or wherever you want to be. So it's really and houses, when the mentors get the people to come in, what are they promoting? Just themselves, which is what they're used to promoting, right? They're promoting themselves. If they tell their subscribers, if you want to access my course, $99 a month, not only will you get the best of me, but I've got all these great friends and mentors in the vault as well. You'll get everything that they've got to offer. It's the most amazing money you'll ever spend. When those people come in, they get in and they start looking at the network and the mentoring vault. But what else are they going to look at? The real estate. So here's a mentor of fitness, or a mentor of real estate investing, or a mentor of whatever. And when their fans come in and start multiplying and start looking at everything Strongbrook brings, they're going to start buying some houses, aren't they? And so when they buy those packages, look at that. You're going to get $3,000 if somebody you personally brought in buys one of those $16,000 packages. You can get $1,000 from the second level, $1,000, $500, $500, $500, and so forth. So this is going to add a tremendous amount of income that you had nothing to do with, but you just started your fans coming in, and Strongbrook's going to do all the sales on that. You don't have to learn anything about PSAs or real estate as a mentor, right? So just to summarize, what's in it for a mentor? Because all of you are going to go out and help to find mentors now. All of you are going to maybe even want to become mentors, right, in the vault. But when you're talking to the mentors, what are they really gaining here? First of all, an extra stream of income, separate from the books and the tapes and the book, you know, the events and so forth. A system for engaging, activating, and rewarding the fans so that not only they make more money, not only the mentor's going to make more money, like I just showed you, but who else is making all that money? The mentor might be making the one that started with 99. They might be able to start with 1,000. But every one of you can start from the 4 slide, right? Every one of you can make that money. So you're allowing your fans to make that money when all you did was tell them to go out and access your course. And then the next one, a way for you to help your fans get mentored in every aspect of their lives and still give you the credit for it. I mean, they'll still love you. They'll still be grateful to you because you introduced them to this vault. And yet you as a mentor, I mean, you can tell I'm not going to teach you what Marci teaches you, right? Marci and I have different strengths. So, you know, but I can bring in my fans and they can learn from Marci. They're still going to be grateful for me because it was because of me that they learned about Marci, right? So you're going to be exposing your fans to being mentored in every area of their lives. They're going to be very grateful for that. And like I said, when Kris asked, why am I here? This is a way for you to help transform the world. Not just people who can afford to pay for it. For every one subscription, one is given away to a person in need. Kris is going down to the soup kitchens and finding people who could really use the mentoring but can't afford to pay for it. And we're going to transform the entire planet. We're going to raise the consciousness of the entire planet. And now every mentor who's just been, you know, working in their own world, promoting their own little gift and their own little message, they're now going to be able to help people in every aspect of their lives all around the world.
Wow. Wow. Was that helpful? That was a mini keynote on comp plan, but Stephanie failed to model one thing for us. What happens if you are a recruiter of mentors, not just one? No, you don't have to answer that. That could be a 30-minute keynote. No, but think about that. Think about that just for a minute. We have people sitting in our midst here that have been out there since we launched this, that have been actually recruiting these mentors. Stephanie, I know who you've recruited in the last week. And Stephanie captures the vision that she's not just recruiting the mentor so that they can go and create greater exposure to the world and change more lives, but now the very first thing that a mentor does when they come in, who are the top 5 to 10 most influential people I know that could be mentors to help be a part of this platform? And that's what's going to help it spread. So Stephanie, thank you for such a great response to such an important question for every one of us.
And I am working on all the math, you know, like all kinds of interesting scenarios and what would happen if, so that, you know, people who want to see the numbers, this was just what I did in half an hour, but I will work on all the math.
All right. Thank you, Stephanie. So friends, what I'd like to do to wrap up this keynote, I would like to just go and ask each one of our mentors, for them, why mentorship? Why is mentorship so key to a person's growth? And we have 5 amazing mentors. I bet we're going to get 5 very different answers. I bet we're not going to get a single ditto. Ron, let's start with you.
I just want to know what she'd be like if she had 2 hours notice. Wow, that was great. I hope we got that on film, because I'd like to review that when I could actually see it myself. Look, in real estate, which is what I can speak for, I can tell you that the success rate of our students come directly from mentoring, largely from one big thing, and that is that we hold them accountable. Mentorship means accountability, because we all need that. Somebody's got to push us. And I'm sure Marci would attest to that, because not one of her clients would lose weight if she just told them what to do and sent them home. Am I right? Got to beat them with a stick. And,
he doesn't know how I roll.
Force them. And force them.
No sticks
Beat your
involved.
students with a stick.
Yeah.
It's the take-home
big
message.
stick. I always tell them, if you don't do what I tell you, there's going to be blood, and it's not going to be mine. And of course, they still won't. But anyway, I think that's the big one, is accountability.
Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you.
I certainly wouldn't be where I am if it weren't for my mentors. And I think that every one of us that has had that experience wants to give back in the same way. And I think that the reason why people need mentors is because even though success is an inside job, you can't see your insides. It's really, really hard for us to see where we're blocked. And it takes a certain kind of, either the person, the mentor, literally personally sees where you're blocked and is able to express that to you in a way that you can hear, or even if it's on a video or a course or something, when somebody says something that you suddenly wake up and you realize, and then when you look inside, you see it. And so without people who have been there and done that and are doing the things that you want, and when they start to explain what happened with them and or what they've seen with other people, you'll start to see your foibles and your insides and your shadow sides and all of the blocks that are holding you back in Prismacolor. And so it's kind of like you get to learn exponentially. You get to take what everybody else has figured out, and then what they help you figure out is wrong with you personally. And when you can, fix what's wrong with you, and you can do what they tell you to do, your success gets amplified and exponentially multiplied as well.
Yeah, so often we're too close to ourselves, and I've had the privilege of working with some great marketers, and some of those marketers don't want me to tell anybody that I helped them with their marketing because they're afraid that somebody might see them differently. But the truth is, we all need help because we're too close to it. And there's two things that I see a lot, two C's. One, we have all this criticism we've heard in our lives that maybe we didn't deserve. Maybe that comes from our competitors. Maybe it comes from people that are jealous. Well, we've got those voices in our head. And then we've got the other C, all these compliments we've been given. Our mom told us we were sweet and nice and smart, right? So we got all these voices in our head, and maybe we didn't deserve those either. So we've got these compliments, and we've got this criticism, and it's all floating around in our head. And when we look in the mirror, both literally or figuratively, it's really hard to sort, sift, and separate out those voices. So to be able to go to somebody who has gone where you want to go and have them draw you a roadmap, you have the power to collapse massive time frames. I suppose it is possible to do it without that, but who here wants to save a lot of time, right? Who wants to evade some pitfalls? I'm a big fan of this. I have been able to get to where I'm at, I guess, at a young age, and it's because, I've sat down with people like Ron Legrand. I've sat down, with Jay Conrad Levinson, the father of guerrilla marketing. I've just sat there and I've listened, which is kind of a lost art. There's no sense in finding a mentor, by the way, if you're not going to listen. If you don't have the ability to listen, you might as well just skip a step on the mentors and just keep doing what you're doing because it's obviously working so well. But mentors is a huge thing. Accountability is a huge thing. And where people make the mistake is they feel like my friend is going to mentor me, my wife or my husband is going to mentor me. It doesn't work that way. You've got to get somebody that you owe or that you respect or that you value their information, and you've got to have an investment in that information. It's only then do you start to take massive amounts of action. And that's why I'm always telling people, dreaming is good, doing is better. I love to pick on the dreamers. We got enough dreamers, okay? We don't need any more dreamers. We need doers. Take massive amounts of action with mentors.
The answer has already been provided for you. So
You're not allowed
yes.
to say that.
Well, in essence, you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. And all right. Yeah. Okay. I never forget when Mike Williams, he's my mentor for 46 years, and he has a book, and I encourage everybody to get it, called The Road to Your Best Stuff. The Road to Your Best Stuff. Had it not been for him, you would not know this Les Brown here. I was walking down the hall at a radio station, dashiki, big afro, and he said, "Hey, Brownie." And I said, "Yes." He said, "You're more than a disc jockey. You're more than a radio personality. You can speak to people. You love to make people feel good. You have a funny laugh, and people laugh when you laugh." I said, "What can I talk to them about?" He said, "Anything. You can speak to corporations around the world." I said, "Come on, Mike. I don't have a college education. I was labeled educable mentally retarded. Come on." He said, Brownie, all of us are born the same way, dumb, naked, and speechless. You could learn. And so he helped me to discover my power voice. We all have one, but most people never discover it, this voice that you now hear that gives you access to the world. And I believe because of my respect for him, what you said, and patience and persistence and being coachable, that all of us have the potential to do more. I saw a movie recently that changed my life, The Theory to Everything, Stephen Hawkins. And he said, all of us have what seems to be difficulties. He said, however, he said, if you apply yourself, all of us can find something that we can win at. And someone saw his potential. He didn't just do this by himself. And all of us need someone in our lives who can see what we can't see. He saw this Les Brown. I did not see him. And if you go to lesbrownmotivation.com, you'll see me speaking to over 80,000 people in the Georgia Dome. He was there with me, and I had panicked. I couldn't think. And I told Dexter Yeager, I said, I can't do this. And somebody said, go get Mike Williams, his mentor. And he came backstage. He said, what's wrong? And at that time, I had locked myself into the restroom. And he said, Brownie? I said, yes. He said, are you scared? I said, yes. I said, did you see those people out there? He said, Brownie, they came to see you. You didn't come to see them. Come out and make your mother proud. Yeah. And when I came out, I was empowered because he spoke and he broke a spell of fear. If you go on lesbrownmotivation.com, you see it. You'll never believe how terrorized I was of speaking in that stadium. But he spoke and gave me comfort, and I saw him. I kept looking. You see me looking to the left, and I saw him, and he would continue to go ahead, say, you're in your living room. You're in your living room. And that gave me the power. All of us need voices at different points in our lives. Studies indicate that we have a 41% greater chance of sticking to our goals when we have someone who holds us accountable, someone that we respect, that will bring out the greatness that's within us. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Wow.
Right? Awesome. What's coming through me? I had this thought that most people don't know that 19 out of 20 people fail at getting what they want. 19 out of 20. And what that means, there's really three types of people in this world. There's spectators, participants, and creators. 99% are the spectators and participants, but only 1% are creators. And out of that 1% that actually achieves, they're the 1 out of 20 that gets what they want, what do they know? They know a system to success. And the system to success is, first, you realize where you're at, and you go, who knows what I want to know? A mentor knows what you want to know. Where am I now, and where do I want to go? And actually, even when you tapped on, we don't see our blocks. I believe the only way you can see your blocks is you go, whoa, what are my results? My results won't lie. If your results are saying that you don't have what you want, if you're not lying to yourself and validating with excuses or stories, then how would I be able to get more of what I want? And really taking this back, what made me think of listening to your story, Les, is, my first mentor, when I got my first mentor, this was 7 years ago, just 7 years ago. I was working as a waitress, making $2 an hour. I just found out I had a cheating husband, and I had a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old to feed. So I became a waitress. I paid a friend to come sleep on my couch at night so I could be with my kids all day, to take care of them and go work a nighttime waitress job. Because for the first time at 28, I thought, how am I going to feed my kids and be a full-time mom and survive? And I knew in that place, that was not the life I was gonna live. I knew I wanted something different. And in that space is when I came across my first mentor, and he cost $10,000. And looking at my circumstance where I had $10 to my name, I was making $2 an hour to feed my 2 little boys. If I would have said, oh, I'm going to go find a way to invest $10,000, what do you think 99% of the population would have said? That's crazy. You crazy. Do you like my accents? It gets more fun when I'm on stage. We'll see what comes out tomorrow. So if I would have taken the advice, unsolicited advice I did not ask for from everyone else, I would have been told, you crazy. Stay where you're at. Work a job. Instead, I knew I wanted something different. So again, where he said investing in yourself, I knew this was not about, I'm going to spend $10,000 to just learn some information. This is about my life. This was about my kid's life. And the only way I would know how to get out of what I was in, the results that I had, being a broken victim, was to learn something different. And I got to have someone who knew how to do that show me. And do you think if I invested myself, I took it seriously? If I had to find $10,000 when I had 10 bucks to my name, I took it seriously. And within a year, I was running my Mind Body Breakthrough program and on TV. We're talking just 6 years later now. I now live in paradise in Solana Beach, and I have paid me, we're about to hit $500,000 to $1 million a month. Affecting the world. And this is the power of mentors. My first mentor was the one who started that journey for me to break those limiting beliefs, those processes that I saw that were never real. That's why the power of mentorship is so amazing. It's you get to choose what kind of life you want to live. You can go along. I love this quote by Mark Twain. I'd be quoting you, Les Brown, but I'm just like gonna rub on you. Mark Twain said, when you find yourself on the side of the majority, it's time to pause and reflect. Guess where the 1% is, guys? They're here. It's time to pause, reflect, and join the crew.
Wow. Friends, help me thank our mentors. Thank you so much.